Hello students, my name is Jesse George, your professional accounting teacher. Before you continue with this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Georgian Theory Concepts. Thank you. All right, in this video, we are going to look at the concept of CPV analysis as a tool for decision making by looking at this question. All right, so I want you to pause the video and read through this question. You can screenshot or you write it out. But I'm going to start with, okay, you can screenshot it. Okay, you can screenshot. All right, now I'm going to start with the requirement. The requirement says that we should calculate the selling price per unit of the product for current year, the monthly, take note, sales in units and value for the current year, the current year break-even point in unit and in value, then the margin of safety. Then this is the decision aspects. We are told that you have to determine which one of these strategies should be adopted by the company in order to maximize monthly profits. All right, having gone through this question, you have been given the contribution per unit. You are also given the monthly fixed cost, the monthly profits, the contribution to sales ratio, the company production capacity is not fully utilized in the current year, and three possible strategies has been given. Look at the strategy. The strategy is to reduce the unit selling price. Take note, underline that. And when you reduce the unit selling price, there is a consequential effect. It means that the sales volume will increase. If you reduce the selling price by 5%, the volume will increase by 10%. If you reduce the current selling price by 10%, the volume will increase by 20%. If you reduce the current selling price by 15%, the volume will, these are the three strategies. So you have to determine which of these strategy we should adopt by the company, all right, as a management accountant. Now to do that, let's start with the selling price, how to calculate the selling price, all right, when you are giving contribution and contribution to sales ratio. There is a relationship between these two. So let's see. Now, you write solution and the name of the company is Vestaprice Nigeria PLC. Okay. Number one is to calculate the selling price, to calculate the what? The selling price per unit. All right. We know that contribution to sales ratio is also known as the PV ratio. Don't forget, it's also known as the PV ratio. Is contribution divided by the selling price per unit. So, do you get it? We have to calculate the selling price per unit, and we have been given the contribution. So we have been given the contribution to sales ratio, and that is 40%. The contribution per unit is given in the question, which is 4,008. Contribution to sales ratio is 40%. So we have 4,008, but we are looking for the selling price. That's what we are looking for. So mathematically, we can cross multiply. So we have selling price into brackets 40% equals to 48. All right, then you divide both sides by 40%, divide both sides by 40%. Then this cancel out. Our selling price is the contribution. So we have the contribution divided by 0.4. And that's 40% is the same thing as 0.4. And this will give you 12,000. Therefore, our selling price per unit is 12,000 naira. It's 12,000 naira. All right, class. Now the next is the monthly sales per unit and in value. Don't forget, when you are giving, how do you calculate your monthly sales? look at this relationship. Our sales in units is fixed cost plus profit, that's the target profit, divided by contribution per unit. Okay? And you have been given the fixed cost to be 99 million. So 9 million plus the profit. Profit is 10 million 200. 10 million 200 divided by contribution per unit is given. Okay, if it is given, when you manipulate this, this will give you 4,000 units. You will add this together. After adding, you divide by 4/8. It will give you 4,000 units per month. Don't forget, per month. Then our sales in value. There are two things you can do here. Is either you multiply this to make it faster, multiply by the selling price per unit, and this is 4,000 units multiplied by 12. This what you have calculated here. So in value is 48 million. That's our targeted sales. 48 million naira per month. Per month. Okay. For knowledge sake, we can also, if you want to go by the formula, you can say fixed cost plus profit divided by contribution to sales ratio, okay, which is 9 million plus the profit divided by 0.4. Then it will still give you the 48 million. But in the exam, you must look for the simplest way per month. So it's either you go through this route or through this route. All right. Okay, class. Now the next aspect is to calculate the current break-even point. So to calculate the break-even point, we know that break-even points in units is nothing but fixed cost. In this case, there is no profit divided by contribution per unit. All right. Then break-even points in value is fixed cost divided by contribution to sales ratio. This one will give you in value, while this one will give you in units. So in this our question, break even point in units is fixed cost. Our fixed cost is 9 million. Don't forget, they said yearly break even, the yearly break even. So we need to multiply this by 12 divided by 48. Okay, so at the end of the day, when you multiply by 12, because this one is monthly, so our yearly break even will now be 22,500 units this time around per year. Okay, then break even in value, you have break even points in value is 9 million per year, multiply by 12 divided by 0.4. Okay, and this gives nothing but 270 million. So when you multiply this, it's going to give you 270 million. All right, per year, yearly break even. That is according to the question. Supposing it's monthly break even, you don't need to multiply by 12. Students should take note of that. All right. Then we have to calculate margin of safety, and that is budgeted sales, whether in units or in value, minus break even point in sales, whether in units or in value. So to do that, we are to show the margin of safety in units. Let's say in units, then in value, in units or in value. So our yearly sales, total sales, that's yearly total sales. That's the budgeted sales in units. What is it? In units. In units is nothing but 4,000 units. Is 4,000 units. Okay, 4,000. Sorry, four yearly is the monthly. That's 4,000 units times 12, and that is 48. That one will give you 48. 4,000 units times 12. Then minus the uh budgeted. Minus the break even units. So minus the break even units. So we have break even points in units. Break even sales in units, which is 22,500. And when you have the difference, what's the difference? This will give you 25,500. So this is the margin of safety in units. Then in value, what is the value? If you multiply this by the selling price, 48,000 times the selling price, and the selling price is 12,000, it's going to give you 576 million in value. That's the budgeted sales in value, in naira value. This one is in units. Take note. Then if you multiply this by selling price, and the selling price is also 12,000, and this will give you nothing but 270. That's which is this. That's in value. That's the break even, where there is no profit or loss. Okay, two seven. Oh, sorry for this stupid mistake. This 200. Then what do we have? You have 360,000. Okay, so that's the margin of safety in units. You can also decide to use monthly. You can give monthly information. So for the monthly information in units or in value. So if you have in units, our total sales in units is what? 4,000. The break even points sales. The break even point sales is 22,500 divided by 12, and that will give you 1875. Then the difference is margin of safety, and that difference is 2125. That is margin of safety. Is the difference between the budget and the break-even sales. Now, if you multiply this by selling price, and the selling price is 12,000, okay, that will give you 48,000. If you multiply this by the selling price, and that selling price is, and this will give you 22,500. So the difference between these two is 25,500. All right. So that's the question is now answered. Is answered. So the difference. All right. Now let's quickly move to the last part of the question that says, determine which one of this strategy. Okay. Now, to do that, that's the B part of the question. If the selling price, what is the selling price? The selling price here is 12,000, and it's reduced. So let's reduce. To reduce, you say 1 minus 0.05. You multiply this, all right? Then here we have 12. If it's reduced by 0.05, the sales volume is 4,000. Then you multiply this by 1.1, and it's going to give you 4,400. Then if the selling price is reduced by 0.1, that is, the volume will increase. So to increase is 1.2, and this will give you 4,800. Okay. Now, if the selling price is reduced, that is 1 minus 0.15, that's how to reduce. The selling price will increase by 1.3, and this gives nothing but 5,200. It will increase to 5,200. So we can set this on our table. So we have strategy A, strategy B, and strategy C. So we want to look at the strategy that will maximize the profit. So we have our sales volume. For strategy A, we have 400. For strategy B, we have 4,800. For strategy C, we have 5,200. Now, we have the selling price, our selling price. Then, when you multiply this, it's going to reduce to 11,400. When you multiply for strategy B, for this strategy B, it's going to reduce to 10,800, and this will reduce to 10,200. So you can use your calculator to test check. All right. Now our variable costs per unit. Don't forget our original selling price is 12,000 minus contribution 4,800. Don't forget that contribution is sales minus variable cost. Okay. Now to get the variable cost, if this cross to this place and this cross to this place, we have variable cost will be selling price. Variable cost equals to selling price minus contribution. So this is our original selling price minus contribution. So our variable cost becomes 7,200. Okay. So our variable cost under each strategy remain the same. It is only the selling price that reduces. So in this case, we are going to have a new contribution per unit. So a new contribution per unit, this will give us, let's say this is A, and let's say this is B. So our new contribution is A minus B. A minus B. So we are going to have 4,200 A minus B. A minus B. This is 4,200. Sorry for this silly mistake. A minus B. So our A minus B will give us 36, 36, 36. A minus B. This gives nothing but 3,000. That's the contribution. So you have your naira. We have our naira. We have our naira. So our total contribution. So for the total contribution, let's say this is C. You now multiply the sales volume. Okay, let me call the sales volume C and call this D. The sales volume C, I call this D. So will be the contribution per unit multiplied by the sales volume. So multiply it, we have 18,480,000. The contribution multiplied by the sales volume. What do you have? 17,280,000. The contribution multiplied by the sales volume. What do you have? 15,600,000. Okay. Then the fixed cost. So the fixed cost is 9 million per month. Under each strategy is the same. For each strategy adopted, fixed costs remain the same. Then contribution minus fixed cost will give you the profit. So we give you the profits, and this will give you 948,000. This give you 8,280,000, and this gives 6,600,000. Now, which of the strategy gives the maximum profit? Of course, it is strategy A. Strategy A. So, based on the calculation above, strategy A, write it down. Based on the calculation above, strategy A is the strategy that maximize the monthly profits of the company and should be adopted. Based on the calculation above, strategy A is the strategy that maximize the monthly profit of the company and should be adopted. Okay? So if you love this video, please share with your friends. Share with your friends. Thank you.